I'm Beth McNinch. I'm the Artistic Director of Chamber Ensemble Musici Ireland, and I'm the commissioning soloist of the new concerto for viola and chamber ensemble EARTHRISE by composer Liam Bates.
My gauge, as it were, my compass for writing is very much how I feel. So I can work for a day, 2 days, maybe nothing's happening, and then the third day something happens, but I know that it's happening because of the way I feel.
Right.
And it's, so emotion plays a very big part of how I put something together. I'm a very visual person. I'm stimulated very much by what I see. A great passion, obviously, with most people do, I think, about nature and wildlife and the world that we live in. Even though the piece might not necessarily sound like nature, the world, it's what's in my mind when I'm writing something, and it does mould the way forward for me.
EARTHRISE, from your point of view, was to do with what happens when humans leave.
Yeah, that the earth rises best when it's left to its own devices.
A lot of our early conversations about my actual instrument and what sonorous tones you get from it, but I really wanted something that would make the viola sing.
Concerti, and you'd have like viola cadenza and then orchestral tutti, and then viola cadenza, orchestral tutti. But to write something where the solo viola is very much part of the ensemble and sort of weaves in and out of the texture, which was the challenge as well, but a beautiful challenge. I loved our sessions with, of me throwing something at you and you coming back and saying,
no.
It's not like the violin, it's not like the cello, it's a very different creature altogether. With the first playthrough, I learned a lot through the premiere.
We had to change quite a few balance things.
Just peeling back some of the orchestration. The viola speaks in a particular way.
And we're renowned for the middle register not quite, coming out as much as a violin might.
So we have to be sensitive to that.
Particularly more modern viola concertos tend to be really big orchestral courses and unusual instrumentation and stuff. And I really wanted something that I'd be able to play with Musici Ireland, my chamber ensemble, but we wouldn't need a conductor, but and then looking forward to the future when hopefully everyone's playing this concerto, but it's easy to program because there's only 10 players, including the soloist, and I think that makes it really special.
The first movement, it's quite a lofty theme. It really celebrates the grandeur and the awesomeness of the world, and also the mystery. That middle section, the second subject, is quite mysterious as well. And that comes through. That's the main theme in the first movement. It comes back, of course, at the end as well. The second movement is my fascination with synergy. It's how different species in the world. They're completely different species, and yet they just fit so beautifully. Not sort of fit, but fit perfectly together. And that sort of symbiotic relationship that's been there for millions of years, and anything that didn't fit perfectly didn't survive. So nature has that very clever way of making sure that, you know, everything's got to fit so closely together. And it does. And so musically, the idea, we have different rhythms. We have an underlying pulse, which is the same all the way through the second movement. But then there are all these other rhythms that are stated here and they're stated there, and then they fit over the top of each other beautifully.
What I love about it is the sense of calm at the beginning and the end, and then this sort of development of emotion.
And then the last movement, I suppose, is that extra ingredient that nature gives us that inspires us to procreate. It's just to keep going, to keep the show on the road. It's the chase, it's the call, it's the display of beautiful colour,
There's so much energy in the last movement.
Lots of energy, lots of conversation, lots of call and answer that keeps everything going, you know. And again, enough room for everything to exist within the palette of sound that we've created, so that it can be what it needs to be.
Well, I think as a violist, actually, the whole piece is such a joy to play, because there's a real balance between it being, you know, complicated enough that you're being pushed.
Okay. Yeah.
But at the same time, these beautiful sweeping tunes, lovely big melodies that you go away singing at the end. And I think that was something I really desperately wanted. It's string quartet, double bass, harp, flute, clarinet, and French horn.
You needed the string quintet as sort of the basis, you know. The harp is so beautiful. It can do a multitude of things. It can accompany, it can keep the movement going, you know, and it's because it's full of beautiful colour as well. And then adding in the colours of the woodwinds and the horn, just seemed like the beautiful combination.
You know, you have this imagery, and I think everyone playing it and listening to it really can see those images that you're trying to create.
As I say, you know, the imagery is a very personal thing, isn't it? You know, I can see one thing, the listener can see something else, and that's okay.
Yeah.
You know, it's just, for me, the images I see just guide me and my pen when I'm making a piece, and of course it could be whatever people want to see that's open to the imagination, which is great. It's the great thing about music.